So it's quite a few hours from the other update I did. We're now in the early afternoon. It's still not here. It's still crossing Mexico, but we'll keep an eye out and we'll watch together. Now it's early afternoon. My weather alert told me that there was going to be no rain. So we have at this moment. So what's going on right now is we have very light rain. I've got feeders again, like you saw earlier on the other videos. They're all over the place. I had to move some. We had to take down the one that I've got usually there. It's on the ground. And because I've got the irrigation tubing and the tomato stakes, it just popped right out. I brought that in the house because that would just go flying in the air. And that's the last thing we need, is to have sticks and flags flying through the air with wind like that. Normally it might just go over. I've never had it come off yet though, but I'm not taking any chances. I see a male Oriole out there. We have more Orioles today than we have in the past week. I told you they left about a week ago and we had like one or two here and there. So wherever they went wasn't as good. They thought, slim pickings, we're coming back here. No, I don't know where they went. Maybe they went to ride out the storm, but they sure weren't heading down south because that's where the storm was. So maybe they started and came back. I don't know. They left and they came back today, but not in huge numbers. Not like we had dozens and dozens and dozens in the window. We probably have had about 3 to 5 at one time in the window. So that's what's going on here. I'll show you what's going on in the house and we'll just kind of keep you in check on what's going on. Gary's out foraging through the yard to see if everything looks okay. You can just barely see. Oh my gosh, look at his yard. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That is all dragon fruit laying on top. And he hand pollinated again. You saw the live one. He did it the next day again. So he's still doing that. He won't do it obviously in the rain because it won't take. But if he does it again, if we have another super bloom, and I'm sure we will because there's hundreds of flowers out there, I'll try to do it again because he didn't have his vacuum cleaner charged up that night when we went live, and maybe I can follow him around with a big flashlight or something. All right, so I'm going to go in and let me show you what's going on in the house, and then we can come back later and kind of keep check on what's going on because Hilary is not here yet. Okay, let's go in the house. I don't want to disturb him too much, but I've got these two feeders here. They're out of the rain. Of course, if it starts getting wind driven, then there's nothing I can do. There's still the one out there. I took the one down that had the flag, the one that's with the wire that I made, only because that one is solid plastic. Now here I did something different. I redid their window. There were two there with that teeter-totter type thing I had on, holding 2 feeders, so I've changed it to an extra large feeder. I don't have to open the window as often, and they can perch on top of that and feed from there. Now here, I also got rid of the other teeter-totter, I'm gonna call it, because it was hanging on one wire, and on both sides I could have a feeder, like one on each side. That was not gonna work on any wind at all, so I took that off, and it's straight up on the hooks there. Let me see if we can take a quick peek out. Like I said, I don't wanna disturb them. There's no rain right now, we're kind of in a break, very little rain. See the hooks? So I've got them all individual, but here's the problem. If these swing, they don't hit anybody. See here? It won't hit another feeder, but some of them do hit. So the ones that hit, I wired. So now I've got this wire. So the only thing they can do is swing separately back and forth. That means they can't bang into each other. So it's working. So this way, both of those swing as a pair. But if they're feeding, because rocking and swinging doesn't bother them. I mean, think of what they do. They land on a leaf, it swings, they don't care. But I don't want 2 feeders crashing into each other. And so now they're all wired and that will work perfect for them. So that's what's going on now. Right now, no wind. We still have just rain. Sometimes it's extremely heavy. Right now, it's fairly light. So all in all, we're doing okay. And we'll just see as the day goes on. But the eye at this moment is still over Mexico. It hasn't even entered California yet. So once it enters California and starts to get up here, we're going to be in a whole different story. So that we'll have to see. But right now, all in all, I don't know if I want to open this up. I could open the windows, allow them in, but I think at that point, everything will be blowing and I'll be closing windows, not opening windows. And that's the last thing I want is hummingbirds all over. Even though I've got a curtain here, The problem is if the curtain blows, then I'll have thousands of hummingbirds in the house, and that will not be a pleasant place. So we'll see how it goes. I'll do something, but I'm keeping you all posted on what's going on with now Tropical Storm Hilary. We do have some Orioles today. See in the back? It's occasional ones I told you that stayed around. There's been a couple more today than usual. So maybe wherever they went wasn't as good as the place they thought was going to be. Oh, see, there's 3. I haven't seen that many at one time in a while. So that's something. All right, let them do their thing and get out of the way.
A flash flood warning is in effect for your area.
So I don't think we have to worry about this. What they're showing isn't where we live, but the point is we are in a flood area, so we are going to be watching. It hasn't even been 30 minutes since I showed you the hummingbirds. I'm watching the Weather Channel. We're keeping that on all day today because they're keeping us up to date with flooding and things going on. They keep beeping. It's kind of a odd feeling, something I've never heard before, where it continues to beep and let you know that we are in a flood area. Look at this poor hummingbird. Oh, come on, get out of the rain. No, I can't help you. Anyways, yes, it is starting to pour. It's rain. I know we need the rain. Gary said he'd like a good soaking in his garden. But the thing is, we're hoping it's for no wind. If we have the wind, who knows what's going to happen. Look at this. It is just so much rain. As of this morning, overnight, we had a ½ inch already. I have no idea. I'm not going out there right now to check. But they predicted in our area we're probably going to get 3 to 4 inches. But it is possible for us to get to up to 8. You know how the clouds move, and if they get stagnant and they sit and they just wait, well, while they're waiting, that's what we're getting. And so we could end up with as much as 8. And that's just going to be too much. There are channels that go across the top of the hill there that they built out of cement, like water channels. So when it catches out of the mountain behind me, because we've got mountains in this area, though we're only about 780 feet above sea level, the point is all these hills, because we're in a hilly area in Southern California, collect water. And we've been doing weed abatement. They've been like across the hill. They've been spraying all the weed killer out there to get all that out. Well, I don't know what's going to hold all this water. So when the water goes down, like see my neighbor's got a channel that goes around there, hopefully it gets caught in there and then goes down in the direction it's supposed to go down. If it doesn't do that and it goes into the streets, you could have massive flooding. And we have had flooding up here. We've had trees come down, but right now I don't know what's going to be. I'm not going anywhere. They're telling you to stay in the house, don't go anywhere. And so, nope. We'll go out later and check, but it's only going to get worse until it gets better. This is the start of it. It is now crossing over from Mexico into California. So it's going to be raining until late into the evening. Well, it's going to be raining until tomorrow. But the heavy, heavy rain that we're getting now, we're going to probably get that well into the evening. And that's all I can say. As far as what I can see, I'm sure we're okay. We're going to have a lot of mud. I told you, well, I can check back with you tomorrow and let you know what the backyard looks like. But we will get a lot of places that look just like, oh, that's a plane going overhead. We'll get a lot of places, sorry about that, that will look like rivers and lakes. And we'll have a lot of stagnant water for a while, and that's okay. But once this clears out, it will dry. My concern is, notice there's no hummingbirds right now. They have taken off, and they will go deep inside the trees. Plus, they'll find eaves around here, and that's what they'll do. They'll hang around. They're gone right now. They'll go into trees, huddle up against the center of the tree, because a lot of these trees direct the water to go on the outside. That's what a lot of trees want. They want that around the root system. They know where they want the water tree. So it hits the top and it trickles all the way down, and they a lot of times direct the water away from the center because they want it in their root zone. So they can hug these trees towards the center where the trunk is, and that's where they can stay dry. Nature has set up a lot. But like I said, all we can do is sit back and hope for the best. There's a hummingbird feeding right now. So I'll keep you posted. We'll keep going. And if there's a change, I'll let you know. But I think this is going to be it for now. Now, maybe when it comes in, it gets really bad, I'll go ahead and come on live out here. I'll see. But if we're going to get thunder, lightning, and the big thing is they're now calling for these spot tornadoes to come down. It just depends on the hot and the cold air hitting. I don't know if we'll really get that many, but they're calling for that. I don't want to be hanging out here. I'd rather be huddled in the house with a cup of tea and writing this thing out and then continuously filling hummingbird feeders. Let me tell you something. It's early right now. I can't believe with all this going on, I have gone through 2 gallons of hummingbird nectar already today. So there's a lot of hummingbirds here, and the most important thing for them is food. Food will keep their body and metabolism going. This was supposed to come in originally in the evening. It was predicted to come in tonight, Sunday night, about 9, go all night, and then in the morning it was going to start to dissipate, but it just sped up. Things change like they always do, and it has started to come in this morning. With now we're going to get the brunt of it, and this is going to get harder, but at least it will be during the daylight hours so we can see what's going on. By the time the sun sets tonight at about 8 o'clock, that's when it's supposed to be not as hard, but you know how that is with storms, especially you guys that are in hurricane places where you get them all the time. You know how they say, oh, well, it's going to go, but there's always those occasional clouds in areas where there's just something that's going to let loose. So we'll see how it goes during the night, but we'll be around, we'll be up, we're going to be watching, and hopefully everything will be okay. Like I said, no wind. Not yet. Maybe we won't get the wind. Maybe we're going to be lucky enough that we're going to be tucked away in this canyon because we've got mountains there, mountains there. I've got mountains behind me. The hills down there are lower. Maybe we'll be tucked away because there's been bad winds in Southern California and we don't get it. But I do see the trees starting to move. So maybe the wind's going to come in as soon as the eye hits or around the eye. We don't have the eye yet. We probably won't get that for another couple hours. So I'll keep you informed on what's going on. All in all, we're wet. And that's what the hummingbird is telling you. We're wet, but we're okay. I'm going back in because my feet are soaking wet. What a day. Gary comes in, his phone starts doing all kinds of stuff. And what does he get? An earthquake alert. Ojai had an earthquake. We could feel it. All of a sudden I said, oh my gosh, the whole house is shaking. And then my daughter texts, my brother who's sick texts, earthquake. It's not that close to us, but boy, we felt it. And the hummingbird feeders I showed you, they felt it too. Now, the other things going on, there's power outages everywhere. Los Angeles, by where my parents live, they've got a power outage, but they're not out. Part of their area is. We have outages out here, so they are starting to go out due to the amount of rain, flooding, and trees coming down. We'll keep an eye on that too. And so far, we've had almost 2 inches of rain. So we are on our way to who knows how much. All right, I'll check back with you all later. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.